calls,
you'll eventually get the 20% back. That Silver Connect card is going to pay her co-payments. Remicade, I believe, is an injectable, and her hospitalization co-payments. And tell them to turn his Part B on. I get the cue. Ready to rock and roll.
you're right.
All right, it's Wednesday. Today is July 18th, 2012. Beautiful weather. Oh, the hotter the better for me. I love it, I love it, I love it. Not too great for my seniors. They're probably sweating it. So make sure you stay hydrated. Take a dip in a pool, cold shower, do whatever it takes. But get through this heat wave. Don't complain because the hail can dent your car, and winter's going to be right around the corner, so no whiners out there. All right, Larry Rifkin had a great show. Larry, that was right up my alley. You stole some fire from me. I was so excited. A caller called in a few weeks ago and had a means test. Well, the means test was actually an asset allocation test, and it was based on $10,000 or more of assets. So I had my staff looking all over the place for it. So we did get the answer. It was from the Department of Social Services. So for the caller out there that called in a couple weeks ago with the means test, I did have the answer. Larry Rifkin touched on it on his show with Dawn McCary from the Western Connecticut Area Agency on Aging. Can't say enough about her. She's such a class act. Daryl Woodlenbrock and herself, Dick Wood, very good people, very good people. I believe Lindsay was with her as well. Young woman. I didn't realize Lindsay's so on the ball for as young as she is, but her knowledge was really good. All right. So I am lucky enough today to have Kimberly Vertrees. She's with the Hearth at Southbury. Hearth, Hearth at Southbury. Not of Southbury, at Southbury for you listeners out there. It's a premier senior living facility. It's been family-owned and operated since 1988. I believe you'd like to introduce yourself. How are you, Kimberly?
I'm very well. Thank you for having me today, Michael.
Oh, it's really my pleasure. So our relationship goes back to about a month ago. Kimberly and I were sitting at a table together in Southbury at the hotel that changes its name every couple of years.
It is the Crown, though.
Yeah, the Crown. So it's the Crown now. And so we're both sitting at a table 6, and Robin Sills is just knocking the cover off the ball, making everyone laugh, doing a outgoing speech. And we come to find out that we are both board members for the Healthcare Council.
Correct.
So I look across the table. She's beautiful, intelligent, and I say, Kimberly, would you mind being a guest on my show? She goes, no, I'd love it. So after a little phone tag, we have her here this 18th of July, 2012. Introduce yourself to my listening audience and how the Hearth can help my listeners.
Sure. Thank you. Hi, my name is Kimberly Vertrees. I'm the Director of Community Outreach with the Hearth at Southbury. We are the premier senior living community in the area. And I love my job.
Yeah, take your time. Take your time. Explain what you do. This is going to be an hour show, so don't rush it. Basically, let me give you a little background. What the Hearth is, the Hearth at Southbury, is a senior living facility. It's an assisted living facility as well as an independent living facility. And it is for the not affluent, but the slightly middle class to affluent client that needs help. A very good friend of mine, him or her, no names for HIPAA reasons, is actually at the Hearth right now. Mm-hmm. And my friend so-and-so, he and I researched it, and he and his wife, they're both very intelligent. They live in Southbury, and it just seemed like a natural fit. Their parent is in their 80s and is having a little trouble taking care of him or herself. So my friend asked me what I thought, and it was just a home run. I'm like, the Hearth is great. So this is a wake-up call for you. If you are spending more time planning your summer vacation than you are looking into your long-term care policy, you should be listening. The Hearth at Southbury is where you're going to go when your children can no longer take care of you, when they are going to get fired from their job for cutting out early, showing up late. It's a lot harder than people think. And where I'm going with this is, activities of daily living, ADLs. When you can't perform a certain number of ADLs, you rely on people. Well, we have a company in Naugatuck where the Heart is, and Susan Griffin and her crew, I've had Larry Santoro and Danielle Urso on the show in the past. They're great. But they can only do so much. They can only get you to so many doctor appointments. And some of you who live in Middlebury, Southbury, Waterbury, politicians, people who live on Columbia, affluent people in the area of the country club, you know, you've got the money saved. You don't want to waste it, but you need to use your money now to take care of yourself. So one thing I always tell clients, don't squander your health to accumulate your wealth, because sooner or later you're going to be squandering all that wealth to save any health. So the key here is you have to realize long-term care is here to stay. Don't buy MetLife. MetLife just got out of the business. You've been listening to the show, so you know I'm always plugging long-term care. What long-term care is, I like to take a 90-day elimination period and have an elimination period waiver. I don't feel that the shorter elimination periods are necessary. I think they're a waste of money. And if any of you are listening, Dr. Brian Chapman and I have come to an agreement. I'm going to be teaching at UConn in the fall, thanks to producer Tom, producer Nick, and this radio show. I don't know how this happened, but I got signed on with Osher Lifelong Learning Institute, Ali, and I'm going to be teaching a class. One of my classes is going to be on long-term care, and Kimberly's going to come in and explain how the Hearth can help my clients. But please listen to me. If you don't have a long-term care policy and you're in your young 50s, get one. Get a quote. Call my office. Speak to Jean, Angela. Call me. If you don't go through me, there are some reputable agencies around here. The Chittenden Agency is decent. Sunderland Agency is good. Hope my buddy lost the weight loss clinic over at the Naugatuck Y. In Waterbury, the Robinson Company always had an excellent reputation. I think Tim Grimes is a stand-up guy. My friends H.D. Seeger in Cheshire, even though we don't like that you moved out of Waterbury, you're still good people. So if I'm not your agent, you have a reliable agent. Sundell and Milford are always good. Kathy Hipp and Rob are quality people. Get a quote. The carriers in the state of Connecticut are Prudential, John Hancock, Genworth. Don't buy Mickey Mouse insurance companies. You need it to work when you need it. So walk me through, Kimberly, what a basic process of someone coming to see you. You consult with the family, nice and slowly. My seniors are a seniors listener.
Absolutely. You can call myself or my partner, Lance, at the Hearth, and we would love to have you come in for lunch, and we'll do a little tour. We will not hard sell you. That's not what we're there for. As Michael expressed, we want to help seniors. We want to help you find the right place to live, whether that be the Hearth or not. So if you come on in, you do a little tour with me, we can sit down, have lunch, I can explain to you what we are all about, and then I can show you some apartments, and you can meet some of the residents, see if that's the right fit for you.
And explain, I know the difference because I read the website all morning long, but explain the difference between the assisted living and having the medicine help. I saw it had medication control, diet control, versus independent living.
Sure. Everyone actually comes to us independently. They get their core services of their 3 meals a day, their weekly light housekeeping, their scheduled transportation to and from doctor's office, shopping, churches, etc., access to our wellness center, all our social activities. When the assisted living piece comes into play is if someone needs help with personal dressing, personal dressing.
Take your time.
Or medication management, then we can help them out, and that's when the assisted living piece comes into play. Our director of nursing would do a personal assessment and come up with a personal care plan to fit you.
That's important. Mm-hmm. Go over that again. That's what my listeners want to hear, that their parents, or hopefully not themselves at their young age, but that their parents are taken care of. You have nurses on staff.
We have nurses in the building 24/7.
And is that an LPRN, an RN? What kind of?
Actually, probably 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. We probably have about 5 nurses in that building, and many of them are RNs. Our director of nursing is an RN, and our executive director is our former director of nursing, so she is an RN as well.
Beautiful.
We also have LPNs on staff.
Nice. Okay. What I felt was that the management control of the medicine was important. Because to tell you the truth, most children, like myself, I'm 42 now, and my father's 77, I sell insurance, and I sell it pretty well. I have no clue about medicine. I know the physician's desk reference. I can talk beautifully about that stuff, but I don't know the chemical formula inside of the body. So it's nice to know that they're not just dropping them off at, a senior center. It's actually an independent living facility or an assisted living facility, and it's hands-on care.
If you need that, you can be as independent as you want, or we can provide you as much assistance as you need it. It's all very individual. So, yes,
Right.
If it's the medication piece that needs to be handled, we certainly can do that.
My friend Susan, no names, but she's from Bethlehem. Her daughter Victoria and I were so impressed how you took care of her mom. She broke her hip. And what people don't realize is Medicare is not going to take care of you. Medicare will give you 100 days in a skilled nursing facility, but not an assisted living facility. This is not an Apple Rehab or a Masonic Care in Wallingford. Gaylord. They call it Gaylord. This is the poop, the doggy doo-doo, the best. This is the elite. This is the Hearth. It's, first of all, so classy. The rock walls alone on the property, I drove by it a couple of days ago, are like $500,000 of rock walls. It is, you're entering paradise. In one of the photos, I saw like a gambling table. The ladies were playing craps or something. What's going on there?
We actually don't have a gambling table at our, I think Connecticut state law will not allow us. So that might be one of our other communities.
It was a card playing table or something like that.
We do play a lot of cards. There's
Yeah.
a lot of poker playing going on. Sometimes for money, sometimes for not for money.
Fun.
But,
Fun.
Yeah, a lot of different activities.
So, all right, who's out there listening that needs questions? You're in a situation where you have a couple bucks saved. Your parents are deteriorating. We're going to take a commercial break in a minute, but the phone number here for Kimberly or myself is 203-757-1320. We're going to plug the sponsors, and we'll be back in a few minutes.